Well, good Saturday morning, book digitizers. I hope you can hear me. It looks like I'm giving an audio signal, but I can't really tell. So if you can't hear me, put something in the chat. Let's see how many people are watching. We've got 5 people watching right now. So good morning, everyone. I suppose with this few people, I probably should have done this with a Zoom call, but we'll just do it this way, which is still very exciting for me. I've never done a live stream before. So, why are we here? We are here for the giveaway draw of the CZUR Shine Ultra. I still have the original packaging. It's all been repacked. Even have the little, I'll retape it, the little plastic knife so that you can open the outer box without damaging anything. And let me just say a couple of really quick words of thanks. Thanks to each and every one of you watching. We had a total of 5 official entrants. And let me explain that in a second. And one donator that didn't want to be an entrant, which is lovely too. So 5 entrants, and we raised in total $217.50. That's US dollars, of course. It's Modest Needs is an American-based charity, and they do really great work. I don't know if you spent any time on their website looking at some of the things that they do, or if you've done any research, but they really do a good job of just helping average, everyday, often very low-income people that are just trying to make ends meet month to month, and something happens to them. You know, a typical story would be their car breaks down and they've, suddenly got to pay $800 to get their car fixed. Because if they don't get their car fixed, they can't go to their job. And if they don't go to their job, they don't have any money and they can't put any money on the table. So they pay to get their car done, but then they can't make the rent. And now they've got a choice between making the rent and feeding themselves and their kids. And so what Modest Needs would do in that, I made up, but certainly not unrealistic situation. If this person qualifies and vets and they determine that this is exactly, sort of what happened, this just series of bad circumstances has caused this, they will, in that example, they'll pay the rent. They don't give any money to the person that needs it. They give it to the person to whom they owe a debt. And it has to be, a real debt, like making the rent or that sort of thing. So they, like I said, they really do great work. And I know as much about them now as I've told you, but from everything I've seen, they are a charity worth giving money to. Just make sure I've got, oh, there we go. I'm going to just turn down the volume in my ear here because it's kind of distracting. Okay, so how are we going to do this? And I don't want to dox anyone or give anyone away, but our 5 entrants, 4 were from the US and 1 was from Canada. MeeBee of North York. MeeBee, I lived in North York for many, many years, for probably more than half my life. So I've only been in Edmonton for a few years now. I'm wondering what part of North York you're in. Hi to Bon Hambly and hi to Pig are in the chat right now. MeeBee, if you're watching and if you're comfortable, say which part of North York you're in. I was in the Concord Park, not the Concord Park, the new buildings down by the waterfront, but the Concord Park that's at DVP and Eglinton and Winford Drive area, right close to where the Con Cultural Center was built, just very close to there. And Pig is in Hungary. Wow, hello to Hungary. I'm flattered. I'm reaching out to that part of the world. This is kind of exciting for me. It really is. Hello. I'm sorry you couldn't. I set the rules as a contest for the contest, as you know, that it had to be in continental US or Canada, just because the cost of shipping was going to be too high, and I had to bear it myself. So. Bon Hambly says, I digitize about 300 books, but only to PDF. Only to PDF. I'm great that it's PDF. What other options would you have done, like an ebook or something like that? I'm curious to know. And I honestly, I don't know if I digitized 300 books. It was at least 100, 150 in my case, and I'm still not done. Sorry, Pig. Yeah, just to review And I know that the 5 official entrants are chomping at the bit to find out if they won. And I'm going to keep you on the line just a little bit longer. The rules were you had to be a subscriber to the channel. That was hopefully pretty easy. That was one click. But also you had to make a donation to the Modest Needs charity of at least $10. So I wanted to just make it so that we could somehow, as a community, as a digitizing book community, do something a little bit helpful. I mean, I could have just sold the digitizer and donated the funds myself. But if I'd done that, let's see, it was $150 US. Maybe I sell it for $100 and I donate the money. Okay, that's good. But now we've donated over $200. We've doubled that to the charity and made one of you very happy if you won. But I hope that all of you entrants are taking a little bit of satisfaction in the knowledge that even if you didn't win the charity, this is going to sound so cheesy, you really won the hearts of the people that you are helping through the Modest Needs charity. And that should make you feel really, really good. Back to the unofficial entrant who isn't an entrant. This is an old friend of mine. I'll say only his first name. I won't dox you, Suprit. You're probably watching right now. But my friend Suprit in just outside of Toronto in Brampton, he donated to the cause and he said, I want to donate, but I don't need the digitizer. I won't use it. I don't want to enter, but the suggestion for the charity was something that he wanted to participate in. So thank you, Suprit. You're a good guy. You know that. He knows he's a good guy. Suprit helped me very much when I actually hurt myself. A couple of years ago when I was living in Brampton, what's the term? Ruptured. I ruptured my Achilles tendon. My Achilles tendon was completely popped and I was wearing a boot, a cast-like boot, and couldn't drive to work. And we worked at the same place. And Suprit picked me up and drove me every day. And it was great. Actually, it would turn out really well. We got along very well and have someone to talk to on the drive in. And we ended up still car sharing even after I could drive. So just shows you Suprit's a good guy. Suprit, you're a good guy. And did I say where all of the other entrants were from? We had Seattle, Washington, Colorado Springs, Colorado, home of the United States Air Force Academy, if I recall correctly. I was there once. It's a very impressive, interesting place, USAFA. Farmington Hills, a very generous donation from K. I would just call her K, letter K, in Farmington Hills. I'm not sure where that next one was from. They actually arguably correctly expunged their address information. When I said I don't need your shipping information until you win, that's true. I didn't want it, but I forgot that your address would probably be in the email that you forwarded showing that you donated to Modest Needs. So I saw where most of you were from anyways, and I assure you I will destroy and not do anything with that data. This is not some crazy money-making scheme where I get people to enter a draw by giving money to a charity, and then I do something, and then I become a millionaire. No, not going to happen. Well, the millionaire could happen because, hey, I'm in the digitizing books biz, and that's where the money is, yo. Okay, a little more serious, Peter. Let's go. By the way, I'm just enjoying some Saturday morning coffee here. Coffee. Okay, so how we're going to do this. I have given each entry a number in order of, can I speak? In the order that they were received. So we have numbers 1 through 5. And I think I replied back to all of you with your number. I messed up the email on a couple of them, but in the subsequent email that I sent last night reminding you that the stream was today, I included your number in there. So, and also, huge embarrassing apology. I said in the video Saturday, December 13th. Hey, this year there is no Saturday, December the 13th. December the 13th is a Sunday. And I think it was maybe what happened is I was going back and forth on whether or not I do it on a Saturday or Sunday. And I just totally messed it up. I sincerely apologize for the confusion. I decided it was to be Saturday the 12th. That is today. That is right now. Just looking at the stream real quick. Rizgi06 says, how does CZUR handle glossy magazine pages? Thank you for your uploads. Yeah, I didn't try it directly on magazines, but in a couple of the videos where I was reviewing lighting, I did try it with a book. Hang on a sec. Oops. This is all live, folks. No, I shouldn't have done this. This is hilarious. There we go. I did try it on this very shiny book, which is even more shiny than a magazine. And the trick is, obviously, you got to get rid of the glare. So I put in that video a way you can figure out if you're going to get a glare-like reflection and how to prevent that. And basically, it's a matter of getting the light source, and you cannot use the light source on the CZUR itself because it's right beside the camera and the light just bounces down, glares off the page, and bounces right back into the camera lens. You've got to use one or more external light sources and put it on a low angle so that the light hits it, illuminates the surface, but then the reflection off of the glossy layer bounces off away from the camera. So the camera would be up above here and the light would be like that. So that is what I discovered. And it's one of those things you had discovered. I'm sure other people just know this intuitively. I had to figure it out on my own, but I'm happy to pass along those tips. That's what this channel is about, passing along the tips. And Bon Hamley's replied, yes, better to have them in a format that one can search. Yes, PDF, searchable PDFs. That's the way to go. Agree completely. And oh, and there's Supreet. Hey, Supreet's learned a lot from me. I've learned a lot from you, sir. You are an inspiration to me. So Supreet has encouraged me to start meditating. And I think I tried it like once or twice, and I really have to try it again. It's just a very relaxing way to clear one's head and get clarity. Pig from Hungary asked, would you recommend CZUR Shine 800 Pro for scanning invoices and receipts? I'm not familiar with the 800 Pro. If it's anything like the Shine Ultra, it would be pretty good for scanning invoices and receipts, because those are the types of things where quality just has to be okay, good enough to read, good enough to be able to, if it's a invoice and receipt, you might need to pull up 3 years from now for the tax man. That's what these things are really good at. I'm going to use the word dissatisfaction with the CZUR. It wasn't so much a dissatisfaction, it was that it didn't meet my particular needs. Because when I'm doing a book like this one, I want photographic, super high res, great quality. And the CZUR Shine Ultra, here I am, I shouldn't be downplaying the thing I'm about to give away. It's a good scanner. It just wasn't up to my super high, paranoid, terrible standards. So if the CZUR Shine 800 Pro is anything like the Shine Ultra, I'm sure it'll be good for that. And then you just have to think about workflow and how you like to work. So the CZUR Shine Ultra, you need sort of, a A3 sized space on your desk to, to set the thing up. Now, the nice thing is the Shine Ultra also acts as a desk lamp. So you can just turn the lights on and it acts as a little desk lamp, which is really kind of a nice feature for some people. If you're going to have a desk lamp, that'd be great. Wouldn't really fit my desk. But so if that's the case, then it'd be real easy to just quickly, fire up the software, stick something under it, and scan something. That's really convenient. My preference for a couple of years now has been the Epson, what's it called? The ES200. It's a small collapsible fold-up sheet feed, and it can also scan invoices and receipts and do a really good job. And just because it takes up very little space on the desk when it's folded up, I kind of prefer that, and the quality is great too. Pig saying it's 8 megapixels. Would it be enough for invoices and receipts? Absolutely. 8 megapixels is plenty. I mean, I still have a Canon ELPH camera that I had from like 10 years ago. This was my tourist put in my pocket taking pictures in New York City camera, and it was 8 megapixels. I mean, that was that was a state of the art just 10 years ago. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. But I would say definitely shop around, and maybe don't take my advice, because again, I don't know the 800 Pro Pig. I haven't used it. I other than you're saying it's 8 megapixels, which certainly sounds like enough. There might be other things too. If it's just black and white, it should be okay. But what's the color quality like? And there's questions like that. So I would suggest searching Google, and in particular searching YouTube. There's other people that I'm sure have reviewed it, but take those with a grain of salt, because I saw some of the initial reviews for the Shine Ultra that made it seem maybe a little bit better than it was. I mean, the quality was okay. Honestly, I'm giving away an okay scanner. It's okay. It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Other questions coming in. How can I make a digital library to become a Jeopardy style genius? Paula Cortez asks, how can I make a digital library to become a Jeopardy style genius? Okay, step one, digitize all the world's information. Oh wait, Google already did that, but then because of legal problems, it's behind a wall. You can't get to it. Step two, memorize everything in the library. Step three, go on Jeopardy. R.I.P. Alex Trebek. Oh, so sad. And step four, profit. Simple. There you go. Risky06, a glossy magazine page is similar to a coffee table glossy book. Should a natural light source be used as opposed to artificial light? Thank you. So the natural versus artificial light, to me, and again, I am not absolutely an expert. I'll tell you what I understand and what I know and what I figured out. The natural light should be good if you have enough of it and it's properly illuminating the page. So if you're near a bright window, natural light might be enough. For me, my office here only gets light in the afternoon, and I'm in a fairly northern latitude, so it doesn't get too much of it. And if it's at all overcast, which it is, it seems almost every day for about 6 months of the winter, there's not a heck of a lot of light streaming in. So I used artificial light. But also, when you're using artificial light, as you might know, there's a thing called color temperature, which, you know, you can go from like a 3000 Kelvin, they'll say, which is sort of an orangey warm light, like tungsten light bulbs always used to be years ago. And then you can go to a 4000 or 4500 Kelvin, which is a neutral daylight, which that will be closest to mimicking the sun on a bright day. And then you can go to a 5000 Kelvin, which is it sort of gets rid of all the orange, and it's just it's more of a pure, almost piercing bluish white light. And whatever you do, you'd probably want to go with that 4000 to 4500 Kelvin that would provide sort of a neutral light. So you're not coloring the magazine that you're scanning. Now, if you look at LED lights online, you'll see they're advertised with often with the color temperature, and sometimes it'll be adjustable color temperature. So the light that I've got with my camera right now, it can adjust from sort of one extreme to the other, and I try to set it between medium to a little bit warmish. But that's what I would suggest. But again, and obviously, if you're using a natural light, if you're using the sun, you wouldn't want to have a shadow from the CZUR. If you're using a CZUR product, it's got that, you know, the camera is directly over top of the item you're scanning. And if the sun's directly overhead, you're going to have a really sharp shadow. On the other hand, if it's a if it's a cloudy day, you will be able to do that without getting much shadows, because sort of the clouds make the sky act like a giant photographer's white box, and it's a very soft, even light, and the shadow goes away. Then again, are you going to be scanning outside? Maybe you will. Maybe you've got a nice little table in the backyard. You can do your scanning. That would be kind of cool. Risky06, what is the most difficult scan one would be faced with? Most difficult scan? Well, for me, and I don't know if Risky, if you've seen my channel, I started with a goal of scanning my books, but also recognizing that I was okay with quote unquote destroying them, or as I like to say, transforming them. And so I would get sometimes people commenting on those first few videos saying, "Oh my God, you're cutting up books. No thanks, goodbye." And someone saying, "Well, I'm obviously not going to cut up my signed first edition." And I'm like, okay, assuming you're not lying and you actually have some signed first editions. No, of course not. Don't cut it up. I'm not saying to cut up an actually valuable book or a sentimentally valuable book. But I would cut the spine off the book so I could quickly feed them through the automatic document feeder and scan them, and then do the whole processing and that sort of thing. So the biggest challenge there was just getting over that mental hurdle. Do I want to cut up all these books that I've been literally carrying around for years and years of my life? And I started with a couple of ones that I really didn't care about and was almost okay to give away anyways. And then I realized, you know what? I really like having the digital copy, and I'm really okay with not having the physical copy. So that was the easy scan. But to answer your question, the hardest scan, I still haven't done it. I've played around with this in my recent videos, is a book like this. Shiny, coffee table, large size. And I am thinking I would like to do, I've got a plan to do a way to do this using an actual camera on a tripod, some lights, and a couple of different types of software that will do the processing for me. One is a free open source software that someone recommended in a video. The other one's called Booksorber. I think it's 20 or 30 British pounds. And I would like to do that. So this to me would be my most difficult scan. And Tamara is reminding me that Edmonton is actually the second sunniest city in all of Canada, which is easy to forget in the gloom of winter. So shame on me. That's probably because we're so far north that weather often can't form other than snow. I don't know. But sunny does not mean warm. Sunny does not mean warm. Sunny just means sunny. But sunny is good if you just want to go skiing or something like that and go for a nice photo walk. Okay, so I think we've got 8 or 9 people watching, and hopefully one or all of the 5 entrants are watching now. At least if they're not, they can be watching this on a replay. I've been talking for 45 minutes. Well, that includes the pre-show. I've been talking for 22 minutes. Risky06, I agree with cutting up not valuable books, as books and VHS take up a very large amount of space. Absolutely. And prior to digitizing my books, I digitized all of my VHS tapes. And actually in the process, I realized I didn't have to digitize all of them. Those randomly recorded episodes of the David Letterman show. One, I probably didn't need to spend time digitizing. And 2, there's actually a guy on YouTube, speaking of David Letterman, that has, I believe, every single David Letterman show, both when he was on NBC and when he was on CBS, available on his channel. That's what he does. That's all he does. He's done a better job at cataloging David Letterman than did NBC or CBS. So that's the other thing to look for when you're digitizing books is, should I even bother, or can I just repurchase this? And maybe that's a better use of your time and money, is you just spend a few bucks and purchase the digital copy, and then you can recycle or dispose of the paperback, or the what do I like to say, the dead tree wood pulp version. Okay, so for the random draw, we have numbers 1 through 5. I am going to let me just switch to. Give me 1 second. We will switch to the webcam. You can see me in all my glory now. Yes, I have horrible quarantine hair, and I even stopped shaving a week ago, so this won't last. But yes, this is me when I'm on a comfortable Saturday morning. So let me switch to my desktop, and hopefully you can now see the website random.org. Let me just grab something here and pull this over here. Okay, so you can see I'm at the website random.org, which, by the way, is a great source if you need random numbers or a random dice roll or random lottery picks or random passwords or any of that sort of thing. So just to show you what I'm going to do, let me make this a bit bigger maybe. So you can see this little box here, a true random number generator, min 1, max 100. Now this is not the draw, I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. So you say you want a number, say, between 1 and 100, and you click generate, and it gives you, in this case, 27. And I can do it again, generate, and that's 30, and generate 32. So you can read at the facts at random. Pig saying, I guess I have the number -1. Yes, sorry, Pig. I love Hungary. I've actually visited Hungary. I visited Budapest several years ago. Beautiful city. Was able to tour the what's that lovely domed building with the I guess is where the Parliament building is, and they have the crown with the crooked cross on top, and it was really fascinating and really a beautiful part of a European tour. Anyways, back to the draw. So what we're going to do, we're going to put in a number. We're going to ask it for a number between 1 and 5. Click generate, and then we will know who the lucky winner is. So we'll go make that a 5. And oh, this is very exciting. I should insert a drum roll here, but I don't really have sound effects. Okay. Drum roll, please. From 1 to 5, generate. The lucky winner is number 5. Number 5 was MeeBee, our only Canadian entrant. This is going to look like a fix, but you saw this was done completely randomly. MeeBee of North York, you are the winner of the CZUR Shine Ultra. Thank you so much to everyone else. I hope you're not completely disappointed. I wish I could have had a CZUR Shine Ultra to give to each and every one of you. You all deserve it. You were the ones that stepped up and said, hey, yeah, I could support a charity and help people in need. So I will be contacting MeeBee by email to just verify your complete shipping address. And just so I can show you that there's no monkey business going on. The draw's over, but I'm going to click generate a few more times just so you can see maybe that your number does come up eventually in a random fashion. So we'll click generate. There's number 4, and 4 would have been Garrett. We hit generate. There's 5 again, generate. There's number 1. That was the JB in Seattle. There's 5 again. There's 1 again. There's 3. Oh, and special call out to entrant number 3, the K from Farmington Hills. Very generous donation, very generous. And if anyone deserved to win, it would have been you if we based it on amount given. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make this purely random. I didn't want to sort of weight things in terms of how much people donated, because I just felt that might sort of make someone that had a little bit deeper pockets maybe have a little bit of an advantage. And in a way, I wanted it to just be a completely even, fair thing for everyone. So let's go back to this. So MeeBee, congratulations. I don't know if you're watching. Doesn't look like she's in the chat, which is fine. I will be contacting MeeBee and we will make arrangements to ship the scanner out to him or her. I don't even know the gender of this person. But I guess that's it. Unless there's any other questions from the chat or anything anyone else wants to say. This was a lot of fun for me. I am happy to pay it forward, and I'm happy that all 5 of you were able to do the same and help your fellow Americans, I guess technically would be the case, because it was an American charity, and really help them out in their time of need, especially this time of the year. You know, this is going to get all cheesy and stuff, and I don't want it to, but it's, you know, it can be really tough for people that are really living just right at that sort of poverty line, and they are one bad circumstance, one sprained ankle from not being able to do their job and pay the rent or that sort of thing. And then in the time of COVID, of course, now we've all got challenges associated with getting by. So anyways, enough of that. Thanks. Like I said, I plan to make some more videos. As I said, I don't do this channel as a business. Although I have, I think 1,100 subscribers, which is about a factor of 100 maybe a factor of 1,000 away from what I'd need to actually make this a viable career. But I'm happy to do this as sort of as a hobby and to pass things along to my fellow book digitizers, whether you're a hobbyist or maybe a professional that works in the library. Someone messaged me recently saying, I forget what it was, but they clearly were doing a heck of a lot more digitizing than I was, and they knew quite a bit about it. So, and I was also thinking about maybe expanding the channel and digitizing more than just books. Like I said, I've digitized all my VHS tapes, and there's, of course, tricks and tips that can be passed along. So don't be surprised if the channel kind of grows beyond just books and becomes sort of a, hey, here's how you digitize stuff, because it's the 21st century. Why don't we have everything digital? Okay, thanks again for watching, everyone. And MeeBee, once again, congratulations. I'll be contacting you soon. Cheers. Bye.